So let's click on Browse Image to show you the waypoints. Okay, so what they did is we're browsing in the images, so it's pointing the way. And now it's giving us counties. Your county may not be here. What I would do if your county didn't show up is I would go to the Family History Library catalog and see if it's filmed. If it is filmed at the center, I would just smile and be patient because hopefully it will come on. The county I happen to want to be playing on is Fayette. Now it's pointed the way, so it pointed from the collection, it pointed the way or waypointed to the counties, and now it's pointing to the collections within Fayette County that are available. And you can see that there, it says 1683 to 1994, and yet when you look on here, there's some indexes, which I always look for an index first. Have a piece of paper with you when you do so you can write down the numbers that are important to locating the information in these other collections. And the name that we're going to be playing with is Lady, L-E-I-G-H-T-Y. And you can see that this is the Orphan Court Record 1783 to 1950, A through D. So the last names begin with A and go to D. Here is E through M. I want to click on that. Something to be aware of in these collections, sometimes it'll say it's volume 1 and 2. Well, maybe the index says your person's on page 82, and when you get to page 82, your person's not there. You have to dig deeper into the collection because maybe there's 2 page 82s because it's volume 1 and 2. That's something that really stops the person. You can see up here it says image 1 of 562. Now there's a little arrow to the left that I could click and click and click 562 times. Also at any time, I can click on the Fayette and that will take me back to those 6 or 7 collections that are available. Or if I wasn't finding what I was looking for in Fayette and they were really in another place, I could click on Pennsylvania records and it'd take me back to the county. So all of this is clickable. If it's blue, it's clickable. But I don't really want to do that. You can see that it's an index and you can see that it's a lot of years. So I started when I first did this at 300. You can type the image you want to look at right there. You can click on Go. You can also hit Enter on your keyboard. Well, J is not what I want L. So I went to 350. And remember, this covers the surname of E through M, and there's a lot of years. And there's 562. So I chose to go to 350. And as it focuses, you can now see that we're in there's nothing here. And the reason I was glad I found this is because so many people see this and they don't realize it's two-sided, and you have to drag it over to look at this side. And you can see we're in the K's, JKL, getting closer. So I went to 375. And now you can see we're at the L's, but you can also see something that we are at the C's. So the last name starts with L and the first name starts with the C. They're not alphabetized, but they are. The surname is L, and this page is the first name that begins with C. Well, I don't want to miss anything, so I have to go find where the K's and the L's separated. So I went back to 360. And that puts us at the K's, so I went to 370. So I don't have to look at 562, but I might have to jump around 5, 6, 7, 8 times to get where I want to get. Okay, so now we are at the L's and the name begins with A. But I want to see if I missed any. Over here on the left-hand side is an arrow, and you can click that. And we can see that we're still in the A's. And I want to go back one more to make sure that I've not missed any of the letters, the pages. Sometimes we just don't click often enough and we miss out on the pages that we're needing. So you can see now that we are in the K's. So 369 is our first L that begins with, the first name begins with A. And I'm looking for the name Lady, L-E-I-G-H-T-Y. When we scan down here, you can see that they're not there. I don't see a lady here. But I didn't want to miss this. And you can see the dates. The dates are 1825, and it goes up to 1849. And so they're getting bigger, getting older. But there were no ladies on this page. So on the right-hand side of the 562, I clicked. I could have also typed in 370. But when I'm just going one at a time, it's pretty much easier just to click on the little arrow. Over here on the, you can see that this will make it bigger and it will make it smaller. There's the word invert. Sometimes a record looks better in the black. Sometimes it's clearer. Now we start at the top of the page. Start anywhere you want to. And I found Anna Lady. These are the numbers that you would need to find it on the other collections. The 20th of December, 1899. So let's jump back to Fayette and let's look at these collections. She was in 1899. This one's in 1871. This is in 1852. This is 1866, 1812. These are those indexes that are alpha. 1844, 1860, and 1869. What I want for her is not on yet. I would go to the catalog and look and see if it's filmed. And if it's filmed, I'd patiently wait for it to come on. And if it's not filmed, then I would contact the the courthouse in Fayette with those numbers and have it ordered and get it coming. So sometimes just because the index is on, sometimes because even when you're in Salt Lake, you find this index, you can't find the film, it's because it doesn't exist. But because I had those numbers, I could send them to who does have the record, and they find it without looking. Most places won't do a big search without getting paid a lot of money, but a lot of times if you furnish the exact information, they can pull that right up. Let's go to this one. I'm going to show you more browse only. Accounts of administrators and executors. I wanted to see if there was an index at the beginning of this. Lots of times there is an index at the beginning of these browse only collections. And lots of times it's just like that collection I showed you earlier. No, there's not one, and you have to look at every single image. So I knew it was a large collection, 817 images, and so I thought A, B, C, D, E, and I just typed in the letter H. And what you have to be cautious about this is you can't trust addition and subtraction when you're using these collections, because the person doing the record might have drawn a line right down the middle of it and named the top one, the bottom, the over here 2, the bottom 3, and the bottom 4. So it doesn't work. Remember, it could be a 2-pager, which this happens to be, and we're at D's. So I went to 12. And 12 is H. So I went to 15. Bouncing around trying to get a feel for the record, trying to get a feel for where I need to look to find what I'm searching for. If you have a lot of people in those areas that stayed put, you want to look from A to Z and see if you can locate any people that are there. This is page 15, and we found our L's. And here's Henry Lady. He's on page 103. Well, mathematically, you would think you'd take that 103 and add it to the 15 and go right to it. Not the case, because it's two-sided. Sometimes it even gets more odd than that. So I started out at 75. Just to see what page number would come up on the top of the page. Usually the page number is located up in the left-hand side and then the right-hand corners as well. So you can see we're on page 88. So let's go to page 90. We are on page 118, so we've gone too far. So let's go back to page 80. Let's try 82. Two-sided, 118, 119. Page 82 is 112, and I needed 102, and I need 103. Now remember, you're into this old script. You're into these old writings. You go over here and you're thinking, okay, it should be here, it should be. First of all, we find our page 103, right there. and we're looking for the name Lady, and it doesn't come up in this area. It doesn't appear over here. And then you see there's this little skinny line. It's not dark or really highlighted. It's just a different one. The account of R.G. Hopwood, a minister of Joseph C. Lewis. And you're thinking, dude, the page is going to run out, so you just keep on going. And then you see another line. And here's the account of Matthew Byers, guardian of Susan and the estate of Joseph Lady, son of Henry Lady, late of Dunbar Township. And this is the account of his personal stuff. It tells about that it began in December 4th, 1849. There's money that tells the totals, tells who owed money or who paid. This looks like they paid. And you always want to look on the next page because it just stops here. So you always want to make sure the next page, hope you can't hear all those grandchildren, the next page, and to make sure that there's nothing that you're missing. Always look on the next page. Big clue for that is Ancestry has a collection called the 1925 Iowa State Census. Page 1 gives you some good information. Page 2 overlays on top of it and gives you the parent's name, mother's maiden name, where their parents were married, if they're still alive, or age if they're still alive. Page 3 gives their religion. So you have to keep on clicking a lot of times, and a lot of people just stop. They think that that's the difference of that. That's a browse image only collection. Another browse image collection, let's go to FamilySearch.